All right, me comic book junkies back again with what you want to see, which is lots and lots of comic books.
Tiger Comics.
Tiger Comics! Not Tiger Comics! Tiger Comics! What? Tiger Comics?
So, what do I got here? I got an AOK from a special friend, which is Metarog. Roger, you all know him, the great professor of comics. Sent me an awesome package, and then I went to the Comic-Con here, a new one, and we'll get into that once we get to that, but it's mostly all dollar books and two big keys. So, first of all, this came in, Roger gave me this, all in color for a dime. I never read this. Pretty iconic. This is a reprinting of the original. Has a lot of essays, a lot of people that were in the industry, media industry, not necessarily comic books. Hello? All right, sorry about that. I just got a call just to let you know my vehicle's factory warranty has expired, and they were just notifying me of that. What a scam. But yeah, this is pretty good. I'm in the middle of reading it. It's, like I say, it's people in the media industry, not necessarily comic book related, but they were asked to write some essays on their favorite comic books or the experiences of growing up reading comic books. There are a few people that did write that are connected with the industry, but so they relate growing up, discovery of comics, what it meant to them, things like that. So that's pretty cool. Love it, because it really delves deeper into the beginning of comics, probably not necessarily the beginning, but, like 50s, 60s, 70s. So this is one of the books he sent me, Yang, number 3, Modern Comic Reprint, which was done later by Charlton. I think the early 80s, they started doing these modern comic reprints. I have read Yang before. It's pretty cool. I picked up a bunch of these when I was a kid. Definitely remember reading these. So that's cool. He knows that I love my solo Avengers. Roger, forgive me if I mix this up. I don't know did you send this to me or did Lady Fantastic? But either if you did or she did, I appreciate having it. And both of you know I love Solo Avengers title. I think Roger did because I had it in with the books. But if you have not picked this up, it's 50-cent bin material, and it is really good art and really good read. And the Shroud, one of my favorite. Charlton 66, you know that. He appears in Solar Avengers quite a bit, if you don't have any of these books. Hellcat vs. Mad Dog. Actually, I read this. I think Roger did send this to me because I read it right away, and it was a really good. I guess they used to be an item at one time, and he's trying to win her love back, but by virtually like a mad dog, he is just going after her, kidnaps her, and he is vicious, and it's pretty brutal, I have to say the least. I had this issue before, and I think I sold it with one of my collections, so thank you, Roger, for sending this to me. I know this book is a little bit pricey these days, just because this depicts a scene in Avengers, but I always love Hawkeye, especially in the Avengers. He's one of the cooler Avengers. Trained by Cap. Used to be a criminal, worked in the circus at one time. His lady love was Black Widow back in the day. He's just part of the Marvel mythos. And then happy to get this one, Roger. I actually kind of crossed this off my list that I would never obtain this book because of the prices on it. So I do have 5. Now I have its companion, Full Appearance of Apocalypse, X Factor number 6. I'm glad to have it. It's a iconic cover, a very cool key. I don't know, Louise Simpson or Simonson, she wrote this. I didn't find it very good. I found the dialogue to be very unnatural, and it was hard to follow the story because of that. I kept finding like stuff wrong with the dialogue, and so because I found so many mistakes in the dialogue, then I was looking for it after a while, and I thought the story was really not that good. And I did some research on her, and I guess she's really because she's part of the creator of Apocalypse, so she's really got some notoriety, and they say that she's a good writer. I don't know what was wrong with that book, but to me, it just was not written very well. Did not read this. I pick these up whenever I can find them, especially when they're $1, just because of the Vaults of Mystery title. It looks so cool. It's kind of got like a horror theme. So these next books that I'm going to show now were all the ones I picked up at the con called the Brick City Con here in town. I got in free. 2 of my LCSs gave me free passes. So that was cool. I don't know, you guys Richie Rich fans? This one is a nice high-grade copy, and I try to pick these up whenever I can for $1. This is actually the last issue, and it's actually a key. I looked it up just on a whim, and it's the first appearance of the Green Flame, who becomes the Flame and then Fire, I believe. Very beautiful Schaffenberg cover. And yes, I did grow up watching this at the Hall of Justice. I'm sorry, it's Origin of Green Fury, then becomes the Green Flame, and then Fire. So that's August 81. Another series I'll pick up if I can for $1. Luckily, both of these are in very high grade. Spidey, Marvel Comics Electric Company presents Spidey Super Stories number 43. Oh my goodness, I grew up on this. I couldn't wait for this to come on TV. Every time Spider-Man showed up in live action, I was like, wow, can they do this? Can Spider-Man actually be a live action TV show? And of course, they came out with the live action show in the 70s too, and I would watch that religiously. Anything I could see of Marvel that was live action was like, as a kid, just blew you away. I thought I had this, but I didn't. It was $1. This is second appearance of Mongol and first appearance of Reservoir. And I do have first appearance. This is DC Comics Presents number 28. Really, really cool cover. I believe this is Jim Starlin art. So all those were from one vendor, and a lot of these are going to be all from pretty much the same vendor, but this was another vendor out of his whole, and he had a Silver Age section of books, but I went through his dollar books, and this was the only one in there that was Silver Age, and I couldn't believe he was selling this for $1. I actually read this a couple days ago. Man, this was really good. Of course, it was quirky, cheesy, but it made it fun. It made me feel like a kid again. And, you know, some of the stuff, it's completely unbelievable. I'd find myself laughing out loud. But it was just so fun. 80-page giant, Superman number 197 for $1, dudes. And look at that spine. It's not broke anywhere except a little fray right there. Usually those books are falling apart when you get them for $1. I seen these on Charlton 66 channel. This is Vengeance Squad number 1, July 1977. I believe this is the first appearance of the team. Nice, decent grade for $1. I have not read this, do not know anything about it. Well, I'm glad just to have it because it's number 1. I think it's 1975. Maybe, yeah, maybe Charlton, you can tell me more about that. I did not have this issue either. Grim Ghost number 3. I believe this is the last issue. Beautiful Russ Heath cover. Check that out. With a demon devil on the ground, a unicorn devil right here. Wow. Just really awesome. For $1. I don't understand how come these Atlas books don't get more love. Even after Paramount bought the rights to them, it seems that they're still really not. They go for pretty inexpensive. This is Marvel Classic Comics. I do have a few of these. I pick up certain ones, which I should have grabbed them all. This is The Invisible Man. This has been adapted by Marvel 3 different times. In one of their magazines, in their Supernatural Chillers series, and then in this series also. Just always thought that The Invisible Man looked cool when he was drawn by the right person. I can't tell who does this. I want to say Gil Kane, but I don't think it is. But my wife, they had like 6 more different ones, and my wife bought them all for her class. And then when I got home, I'm like, man, I should have bought those. But it felt cool to see my wife buying comics, even though she's not a collector. So the next couple of these, I already have these. These are doubles. But who's going to turn down a Joe Kubert cover interior art book? Ragman number 5. The Jewish superhero. It's kind of reminiscent of Batman a little bit. I'm not turning it down. So I got number 5. I got number 4. Tell me in the comments, would you turn these down for $1? Number 3. I was happy to pick up number 1 last year. I've been looking for number 1 for years in the back issue bins. Actually found it for $1. This one, I knew right away what this was. I've seen people show this before and talk. I think Comic Tom talked about it. This is the first appearance of Mask of the Phantasm in Batman. Now there is a comic book that came out the year before. This came out in 94. I believe the comic came out in 93. This is the one that came with the VHS tape. So that was pretty cool to get that one for $1. Really nice copy. It's not beat up or nothing. So first appearance of Mask of the Phantasm. Okay, all these next books are doubles for me. I have all these already, but I'm not turning these down. Buckler cover with Claw on the front. Kazar, Lord of the Hidden Jungle, number 14. I always love Kazar. I found him to be better than Tarzan as far as in the Marvel universe. Marvel's Tarzan was never all that for me. I don't think they really developed the character that well. But Kazar had a lot of co-stars, and he traveled around into the city, the hidden land, dinosaurs, demons, magic, all kinds of stuff. Another beautiful, this is number 13. And these are from 1975. This is from 74, November. Wait, is it from 74? No, we're still in 75. That is an iconic cover. This is actually Jack Kirby and John Romita. So it looks like Kirby might have did the layout on this maybe, and then Romita inked it and added a little bit of his own substance to the cover. But it's a beautiful cover. Number 12. Nice copy for $1. I am not leaving that behind. So these are, some of these are upgrades, and then some of these will be going into the prize package when I do my next contest. Gil Kane cover, number 10, Lord of the Hidden Jungle. Beautiful. I love to stare at these. Number 9, June 75. All these have a star on them right there. Star stamp. I don't know if anybody knows what that is. Let me know. I actually thought that was pencil at first, but it's a stamp of a star, and it's right there by that number 8. Another Gil Kane cover. The Volcano of Molten Death. Dr. Von Chilla. You'll love it. He loves Gil Kane, one of his favorite artists. And I need to get that. I hate when that happens down here. You dog ear it when you're putting it in the bag. Number 7. Revenge of the River Gods. Now this is the one I couldn't believe was in there. I do not have this one. So out of the whole run, this is a lot lower grade, but this is number 1. I read this. This has the origin of the hidden land in it, the hidden jungle, which confused me when I looked this up on Nick's Key Collector app. So just to let you know that app is not the be-all end-all of apps for keys. This was not listed in there, but they listed the volume 4 from the 1980s as origin of the hidden jungle, which I thought that's kind of strange because the orange is in here. This was 12 years earlier. This is the second volume of Kazar, and it's the number 1 issue. You would think that this would trump number 13 from the 1982 Savage Kazar issue. So I actually shot him an email, asked him, I said, what do you think? Shouldn't this one trump over that as the origin? I believe it's the first origin of the Hidden Jungle also. But not only that, this is written by Mike Friedrich, of course, of Ghost Rider fame. So you know this is good. It was good. It's also drawn by Paul Rainman and Mike Royer. I never heard of them before, but the art was really fantastic. It was really up to the level of Bronze Age Marvel goodness. And another vendor had this exact same book, and it was just as low grade for $5. And I almost bought that one too. But I figured, you know what? If it would have been a higher grade, I probably would have bought it. But I got one for $1. Why am I going to buy one for $5? So the last two books are the big keys. This was a video game vendor who had like 5 or 6 comics. This is the first appearance of the Bizarro Flash. So I thought that was really cool. It's Silver Age, Lois Lane, number 74. He gave this, or he sold this to me for $10. I was like, nah, I can't turn that down. I've been reading this series lately because I've been finding a bunch of these at the store. Such fun, such a fun series. This is from 1967. So glad to have that Silver Age key, but this was the big one. I've actually wanted this for a while. I seen it at a flea market in like ragged out grade, and the guy wanted like $80. Then a few months later, I seen this on Lawrence's Go To Geeks channel, and this guy had it there, and he had it for $30, and I offered him $20, and he took it. This is Action Comics number 340, August 1966. First appearance of the Parasite, and this is written by Jim Shooter, Kurt Swan art. Oh my goodness, this thing is classic. Really classic battle, and finally a villain that really can rival Superman with his origin and everything in here. I mean, of course, the art wasn't as dynamic as Marvel's, but it was what it is. It's Kurt Swan Silver Age. So, yeah, I enjoyed this. I'm happy to put this in my collection. That's all I got for this one. Hang tight, because I got a couple more hauls coming up with some great Bronze Age, Silver Age books. And I'm excited to own them. Hopefully you'll be excited to see them. This is Nighttiger saying, out of here.